What's going on?
Welcome back.
We're back.
Yes.
Yes, si, senor. What do we have today?
Today, we're drinking something a little better. We're having Glenlivet Scotch. It's one of my favorites. I know you like it too.
Amazing. I personally like. I know he doesn't. He mentioned he doesn't like too much. I like Black Label. I don't know too much about Scotch besides the Glens and some of the Johnnies and the other stuff. But
Have you had the Japanese
Thank you, sir.
whiskeys?
no.
Those are pretty good too. They started making some really good stuff, like the Hibiki and the Suntory, I think.
Mhm.
My brother is really into it. He has a nice collection at this point. And we did a tasting test at one point, and yeah, dude, they make some good stuff.
Man, the Japanese, listen, from their well-crafted jeans to their great taste in American culture, they just tend to
their
get things.
sushi.
Yeah, they just tend to get things right. A lot of the stuff from the cars that everybody doesn't like to accept that they're just some of the best cars on the market. They just kind of tend to get it, you know, and
Yeah.
it seems kind of cool, you know, pretty cool to me.
No, they do have some good stuff. I mean, I'm not a big Johnny Walker fan just because of the peatiness it has, along with the Bucanas. It's kind of like the similar kind of peatiness, and I'm not a big fan of it. But you know,
Oh man, I haven't had that
still,
in a minute.
I still like it. If that's
Good shit.
all I have.
This is good shit, man.
No, it is, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
I like it.
We just need a cigar.
Except we wouldn't smoke it in here. It's just cigars just tend to stink up, like penetrate through your soul, man.
Yeah.
It's like I remember, like I had, you know, a good night with some friends, you know, a couple drinks, and I had a cigar. I remember, like, I felt like my pores were reeking it. Like I woke up the next day and I was like smelling my blanket, and I was like, what the like this is too much, man.
I mean,
But
it's
I
good
do
when you're
enjoy it.
smoking
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is penetrating.
But anyways, what's going on? And you know what? A lot. Obviously a lot around the world. Something that got me kind of going crazy, as it probably did with a lot of you aficionados of this certain plant, was probably when Mr. Joseph Biden decided to say that freaking it was a gateway drug.
That cannabis is a gateway drug.
Mind your fucking
I thought
business,
we
Joseph.
were past that at this point, man. I really thought. And then you have this old dude who doesn't know, like, there's plenty of research already that he should have done, but he hasn't.
He had to backtrack and backpedal and put up that little message of like, whoa, listen, this is what I meant. Oh,
I don't think he knows what he's talking about at this point, according to everyone. Like,
dude, he might be the
losing
real senile person out there, not Trump. Trump is just hopped up on some drugs, allegedly. But he might
some
be the
hot rails.
Yeah, whatever they got, you know, Trump on, give some to Mr. Biden.
Yeah.
Hunter, get your dad a little bit. I know you do a little nose candy. I can tell you, motherfucker. I can tell you do that kind of stuff. Look him
So
up.
yeah, man. So yeah, so you were talking about weed, right? Being a gateway drug, and what do you think?
Well, so this is the thing. I think, come on, man. Let's get real now, right? I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that, for whatever reason, I mean, we know we talked about a lot of the things, and you know, this certain individual, William, William Hearst, and, you know, and his black balling of the hemp plant itself, you know. But I honestly, it's one of those things. I think we just, oh man, you know, we gotta get over, and no one's essentially died from this. Like the big stuff, you know, how many times have we heard anybody acting crazy on like the big ones? I'm talking about the big ones, like the misconception ones that makes people go crazy. Come on, man. You know, and now with America smoking more weed than it's probably ever smoked in its history, I think it's time to move along. I mean, I told you I had a little example. When I was younger, around 13, 14 years old, when I tried marijuana for the first time. And I liked it. It was cool. It was a good, cool thing. It was a little hoodlum thing, whatever. But no, it was a great feeling and everything. I ended up getting in trouble.
And then you became a crackhead.
Let me explain. Then I became in trouble, right? And then you know, under whatever religious institution I was attending at the time, you know, I got to talking by, you know, the people, and, you know, they kind of scared me straight, right? You're not gonna inherit whatever that was, right? With heaven or whatever, nirvana, whatever. So as a 13, 14-year-old, you know, you get a little scared, you get a little paranoid. It's something you've learned for forever. And no, like, no, I'm working, I'm trying to be a good person, I want to be there. Marijuana's gonna, no. So, you know, your innocent kind of self. And sure, it wasn't an innocent thing to them that I was smoking weed, but anyways, so time passes. Through high school, all my friends were smoking weed. And because of this thought, because this religious thought behind my mind, I just couldn't. I couldn't. I think it was until like 19 years old. I even had reservations of it still, like,
Right.
as a 19-year-old kid, you know? Obviously, I'm still a kid then too, but
So am I.
we're all kids. We never start growing up, you know? But anyway, so, and it was like, you know, fuck it. I'm just gonna, whatever. And, you know, I liked it, and I've obviously done it. My mother knows. You guys can go around and tell her, but I told her myself. So it's all good. And, you know, now I see great benefits from just sleeping to just relaxing, and it's not, you know, no real hangover and stuff like that. It's better for your body, essentially. But yeah, man. And, you know, and then obviously I've done some other, you know, types of drugs growing up, no cocaine or anything like that. But, you know, till I was like 25, 26 years old. So sure, it's a huge gateway. It got me straight to the hard stuff, you know? That's just kind of silly there.
It is, man. And the problem is that, like we were talking before, so much crazy stuff going on in terms of like depression, in terms of, you know, mental illness, that no one knows how to approach it. All the killings, it's blamed on mental illness, and all kinds of crazy stuff for whatever reasons, whether you blame on social media or pharmaceuticals that kids are now, you know, stuck into because you start giving them when they're, you know, children practically, so they can calm down or whatever the hell, you know. Like, I believe that that's the main culprit, you know, all this stuff that it's legal, that's affecting society in the worst way possible, you know. And that's what we're talking about, psychedelics as well today, you know. It's something that at least I personally have done a lot of research on over the past couple of years. We experienced them recently, or not so recently, but, you know,
As of a year recent, I would
right.
say, you know,
And
months.
and it's something that we've come to realize that this can actually be the solution to a lot of the problems going on in society. Because yeah, we definitely heard it from Paul Stamets, from Michael Pollan. I mean, his book is awesome, How to Change Your Mind. Go read it if you haven't.
And he's come on, you know, the popular Joe Rogan show. And again, he's an amazing guy. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Right, he's a journalist based on science. Like, it's all factual evidence about whatever he's researching on. In this case, it was psychedelics, and that was probably one of the books I read before actually I listened to it. But, you know, before I saw him on Joe Rogan, before I kind of really got interested in it. And I think it was his book that really got me interested. And again, all fact-based evidence on something that we all, as a society, are afraid of because we don't understand it. You know, there's this huge stigma behind it that no one seems to want to get past it because, first of all, they don't really start to do any research on it. And I'm really happy as of now that they are really like, research is really starting to grow on you know, on psychedelics, mushrooms especially, and what are the other couple of?
I think marijuana too. I think that's
Oh yeah, marijuana for sure.
one, yeah.
But you know, like these drugs based, you know, on plants, on natural plants, all of this stuff was known back in the 50s and 40s by scientists.
Yeah.
But it was a damn government that suppressed it for whatever, you know, cultural reasons going on. You know, like we were talking about at the time the hippies started with their movement against Vietnam and all that. The government wanted to suppress them, and that's in part why they made psilocybin, which is mushrooms, illegal. I think around that time, you know, cannabis was also made illegal. You know, but it already had some racist connotations, some racist, you know, pushback, like we were talking about Hearst. So there's a lot of research that was being done at the time before it became illegal. After it became illegal, it was also illegal to do research on it.
Yeah.
Which is the craziest thing, dude.
Yep.
Like, there were so many already benefits that were starting to show.
You know, the thing with science is that science goes where the money's at. And a lot of the times is a lot of these scientists don't have the funds and stuff to do it. So during the same time, I know that a lot of these places or a lot of these scientists were being defunded
Right.
from whatever institutions. And no, well, we're not going to waste time here. Let's get to the important things. Is kind of what they said, but they knew what they were doing.
Of
I
course.
think you bring up a good point with mental health and all the stuff that's illegal and how you believe. And I think you're really one of the first people that have you brought it up. I mean, it's not that you're this genius or anything like that, but what we're trying to say is
Sometimes I believe I am.
yeah, of course. Half the times, half times you're half amazing, half times you're
I'm a
just
complete idiot.
yeah, as we a lot of us are. But anyways, so I think you brought that up, and I really started giving it a little bit of thought of like, especially what's going on nowadays. We keep hearing these kids with these shootings and school shootings and kids falling depressed and they're anxious and stuff like that. And you go to what these kids are eating, man, and a lot of these schools are they're not giving them a solid meal any day. We're doping them up on sugar, and then we're handing them off to a poor teacher who, doesn't know what if she wants to do that anymore, and she's frustrated, can't really effectively do her job. We bring them out to lunch. We feed them a corn dog, some fried stuff that doesn't mean anything, a bunch of carbs and a bunch of empty stuff with fries. Then we
No
send them
nutrition, no actual
yeah, and
nutrition.
then now we're wondering why some of these kids are talking about,
And then you have social media with depression. I
yeah,
mean, like, there's a bunch of
yeah,
things
yeah.
behind it. Of course, I'm not saying we're not pinpointing
No,
one
no.
thing.
I think right now we're concentrating on just the food. I mean, yeah, obviously, as you probably know, we're not that stupid to not analyze all the other factors. But your situation at home and whatever. But think about it. We're a lot of these kids are surviving off sugars and carbs and all this stuff that just it's not good for you. And then now we're wondering why they're having these mental issues. And I know other
Because like carbs, for example, just to add to that, carbs and sugars, they create a lot of inflammation in the body.
Yeah.
Inflammation has been shown to point to depression as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I haven't heard a lot of people in the media or anywhere talking about nutrition affecting all of these mental illnesses, but I believe just from what I've learned from different parts, I do believe that it's a strong point that's contributing to it, and no one's really talking about it.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, obviously there's other reasons, but right now we're talking about food in general, and like I started doing a little bit of more research, and there really isn't any. There's other countries, other European countries, other Eastern countries have some sort of research, but it's not rigorous. But they see something going there. But then when we come to the United States, it almost seems like we don't give a fuck. Like it's not like no, we're not even gonna waste time with that. But
We start arguing about shallow
yes,
things and trying to come up with shallow solutions instead of
100%.
going deeper into the real issues. And no one's really talking about the deeper issues. And that's why we want to make this podcast about psychedelics, because I do believe that we need to get rid of this stigma that's been going on due to a lot of it propaganda. Because when you look at the scientific research, clearly there's so many benefits and very few cons to it. So it's something that I've been trying to explain to my friends, to my families, about just how they should at least be slightly open-minded to learn a little bit about it and start to see the benefits behind it. Because like, how do you feel after you took them?
So we obviously okay. So first and foremost, I do want to say we take this stuff serious. It's serious to us. We're not advocating and doing anything like this or doing stuff like that. But I think we've gone into a lot of health, right? I think physically, obviously, that's important to us. Our what we put in our body, our just what we eat, our health, and then also our mental health. I think we're definitely, at least for me, I have a couple issues, and I've it.
And
that's
just to like, we're a little bit hypocritical because this stuff does do a lot more damage than good. So we're not going to deny that. We admit it, but again, we also limit our drinking now, especially as we've gotten older.
No, definitely. So just to let you guys know, we do have an importance in this, in the mind, soul, and the body kind of health all around. But you bring the question, how did I feel, man? It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I think I was a little hesitant at first, and I knew all this stuff, so I understand when people are a little adamant about it. Um, I understand. I understand.
Because
I
you
was
hear all
too.
those crazy
Yeah,
stories,
yeah, and
that I
I
don't
don't.
know,
Yeah,
whatever you have in your mind about them, it's just complete fear that has been ingrained in our brains,
I,
for them. Whether it's cannabis and psychedelics, just the same.
I remember in high school, one of my friends saying, "Man, you don't want to do mushrooms, bro. Like my cousin did that. He was crawling up the street. We could look. First and foremost, I don't know. I think that story could have been a little bit far.
Saturated.
Yeah, exactly. I love my friend who told me, but I just maybe he didn't get the full story. Um, anyway,
Well,
so
another problem is that a lot of people mix them with alcohol, mix them with something else. So
yeah,
I mean, like, when you're doing it
yeah.
for not, necessarily for in a serious way, where you're doing it, what's the word?
Recreationally,
Recreationally, that's, like, people tend to do that. They're not taking it seriously like they should. They're mixing it up with something else. So yeah, of course, what do you expect when
yeah,
you're doing that?
mixing it up with
So
emotions.
anyway, then you continue.
Yeah, so he would just tell me, and then ever since then, I'll be honest, that's probably one of the real actual kind of anecdotal evidence. I don't even think I made sense there, but anyway, so that I received. So I saw, I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing that. And then you would see in movies, right, like when people do these
Like
mushrooms, and
Roger Sterling,
yeah,
Mad Men.
yeah, and then I'm like, man, this is crazy. You just listen. I understand. I didn't understand it, and I didn't know. And then you would see these movies where they would do it, and they would see the little cartoon characters come to life and all the colors and stuff like that. Although the visuals are very well, just because it enhances your visual and enhances your hearing. Which, yeah, I'm not gonna deny it. That stuff was awesome too. Just hearing and all that stuff and just experimenting the your surroundings. Yeah, that's awesome. But I think the post was my favorite part. It was calming. Nothing really, things that we go about on a regular day thinking it's stressful and stuff like that, that honestly don't hold much weight aside from what we give it. And yeah, our boss is a piece of shit, but guess what? In that moment thereafter, maybe he's just a little
You
misunderstood.
accept that he's a piece of
Yeah,
shit, and you feel, you kind of empathize.
a hundred
You're like, all
percent.
right, he's also under a lot of pressure. He has his own stresses or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But
definitely. But no, I again, I feel great. I think we kind of talked about it afterwards, and obviously, you can tell your side of the story. But I think it was a great experience.
well, it's like Michael Pollan says in a book. He says that once you take him, it's an italicized reality.
There you go, man. I love it. We practiced that phrase before.
I can't speak
Yeah,
sometimes. But yeah, it's just an enhanced reality that it's not necessarily what people really think. But again, it comes down to set and setting. Like he talks about it too, and Paul Stamets talk about it too. It's, like, obviously you don't want to do it when you're stressed out, when you're pissed off, because that's going to affect how you feel.
right.
And like you mentioned, yeah, like the results from it, it almost feels like you took, a 2-ton elephant off your chest.
Literally, man.
Even though I'm not even that stressed, like overall, I keep my life simple enough that I'm not stressing over mortgages or family and children, but it still feels like that relief or just peacefulness.
It was like a
Yeah, like that.
wow, and
It's like if you have a, $100,000 debt, student debt,
somebody cleared it.
and then someone just like, here's a check for it.
You know what? And it's wild because
Just to refer to the analogy that some of these volunteers have said, is like they compare it to the birth of their child.
wow.
Like that it's that big of an experience when they've done it. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think it's profound. It's a profound experience, and sure, going back to if you're gonna do it recreationally and stuff like that, you're still gonna get some of that stuff and some of the effects. But I think when you go into it with a clear mind and just a perspective of just opening your, exploring your consciousness, which a lot of people think, why can't we do that? It's our conscience, it's ours, but we've almost been hit on the wrist or treated as a child that we can't do that. We can't do the simple thing of exploring the consciousness, which I believe a lot of the problems and stuff that we have kind of lie there, and we externally as a physical being, we can't process it, and we don't know where certain issues stem from. We don't know why we act a certain way. And I think that psychedelics and mushrooms, because how we act and what we do directly affect our being, like our anxious being, our depression, how we treat others. And I don't think tapping into the consciousness is, I think we can start a little bit of that exploration within our own self and becoming a better person and defeating those demons. We all have them. We all have demons. We just,
Well,
some
you
of
know,
them
the thing is
wrestle with
that,
them.
you know, all the issues that we have as adults, all our negative issues that most of the time we're not even aware of them. We're just like, oh, that's just his personality or whatever. We blame it on that, right? That's just his personality. A lot of it comes from our childhood, and a lot of times we don't even realize, we're not even aware because, you know, like we're not thinking about that when we're children. We're traumatized with, you know, some people with something really serious, other people with not so serious. You know, maybe just like something as simple as bullying or whatever. That, you know, that affects a child, right? Mm-hmm. And that creates that adult later on, whatever it is that they become. But we don't question those things as adults because we're not even aware of it. And I think psychedelics kind of goes back into it. It's almost like, you know, like I've never gone to therapy, but from all the people that I've heard that gone to therapy and spend years on therapy, I've heard that it has benefited them so much because they've tapped into that, you know, childhood, and they've been able to just kind of fix a lot of those negative issues that they had as adults. And I feel like this is, you can compare it to that, to therapy, but just times 10 or times 100, or depending, I guess, how much you take.
You know, dude, I just bringing up an example and stuff. I have friends, I have people, we all know them, who must have control of their life. They must have control of their reality or whatever they perceive of, and it doesn't allow them to live. And they go to the extreme that it almost ruins their life, because they're not happy at the end of the day. The whole thing of materialistic things don't bring happiness. There's something there behind it. We work so hard to acquire them, and then we realize that, what the hell? So I think with psychedelics, it really kind of just sets what's important in life, and man, you know, relationships with people that we have and we uphold, and how we treat others, that's important in life. How happy we are on the inside, that's what's important in life. And I think psychedelics it's the way, man. I think it's the way because, again,
That's one of the ways for sure.
yeah, you at least for me, I feel like this is
in terms of mental health.
Yeah,
you know, because obviously, to feel good physically, you exercise, you eat properly, whatever you think that is. But yeah, for mental health, you definitely want to get rid of all the crap that you don't need in your life, and do a little bit of shrooms from time to time.
Just, you know, if you're skeptical about it, do half a dose or something. I think.
But look, I'm not condoning anyone to do anything. I'm my point with all this is to at least push people to do some research on it and just educate yourself on them instead of, fearing them, like, because it's fear that people have about these, just because, that's what's been ingrained in our brains this whole time. So it's a fear that, we need to get past it. It's not necessarily
you know what it is. I think it's like, a lot of people are roller coaster enthusiasts, and we know what the roller coaster is going to do. We kind of see it and stuff, and we it's really that initial kind of just go, because thereafter they're fun as hell. Like, just the whole thing and just seeing your body, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy, and it's gone like that. And then thereafter, because your body releases obviously adrenaline, but then thereafter it releases other chemicals, and you feel good, and you're laughing, you're having a good time. I think, it's kind of an analogy there, and this right here, yeah, you might be a little, trust me, a little timid, but I think more than, I think you stressed it enough, is do the research ahead of time. If you decide to do this,
because it's not for you, I'm sure at some point in your life, if you guys are young, your older family members, whether they're suffering with, not schizophrenia, but like depression, or, they're getting old, and, they have some, because, it's also been proven that people who had cancer and were going to die when they took it, it just relieved them and allowed them to accept death, right? People who are alcoholics or smokers, just one dose, not one dose, but one trip of these allowed them to completely just clear it off.
You know what? Speaking about alcohol, dude, I think another positive thing that I felt was I feel like before I needed to have a drink. Like I was like I need a drink, and then after that I'll still have a drink, but I'm cool about it. I'm. It's not whether that's a result of psychedelics and growing up, or just growing up, or psychedelics. Who knows? Maybe it's just coincidence thing. But I know that that's one of the things that it does help with addiction, and it helps people alleviate some of that. Why I do this, why I drink, and why I go there.
Because like for example, someone who's a smoker knows that stuff is killing them, and they try and they try again to quit, and they try again and they continue to fail. Why? It's an addiction for sure, but at the same time, it's also their mindset. Like they just need it. They think they need it. And what I've read from all of this, like the actual results from this, is that they just realize like something clicks in their mind, just so simply like that. They're like, yeah, it's killing me. I'm not gonna smoke anymore, and they don't smoke anymore.
Another great feeling I think that I got from it was like appreciation. And I think it could be part of that people start like really appreciating themselves. And when you appreciate something, you don't want to damage it. You don't want to hurt it. You don't want to see it go. So if we start seeing ourselves as the most precious things we have, and maybe, psychedelics can help you do that, then we'll put down the alcohol a little bit, and we'll put down the cigarettes and maybe the addictions, the cocaine, and all this other stuff that just doesn't matter. Here's a hell of a drug, according to Rick James. Hey man, I don't think I've ever have crossed my hands like this. I think it's a scotch. Look at it. I'm just being more proper today.
Proper.
Oh man.
You start speaking with an English accent.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us as far as this, and hopefully we didn't make it sound like it's such a horrible thing or anything like that, let us know.
No, man. But like I suggest checking out Michael Pollan with Joe Rogan, and Paul Stamets with Joe Rogan as well. If you guys are going to read the book, because most people are not going to read the book, I understand that. But just read up on it, and you'll be surprised what you find. And if it's, again, we're not condoning anyone to actually take it. We're just encouraging people to read up on it and lose that fear that there's no reason why there should be fear if you do it responsibly. If you're going to be doing it recklessly, of course, like with alcohol or anything else, if you do something recklessly, I mean, you don't be surprised that something stupid happens.
Play stupid games, win stupid prices, as some wise guy once said. But no, dude, I think you're right, man. I think it all starts with the curiosity of just learning and doing a little bit of research.
But just like I forget who said it, but they say how this can be one of the solutions to a lot of this stuff all the horrible stuff going in society right now. And just from my experience and from all I've seen in terms of research, I'm starting to believe it.
Donald Trump, get on it, dog.
Someone said that he shouldn't because he's more a psychopath, that it wouldn't really help.
Oh.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, dude, it's crazy because that man wild, dude. That man wild.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That guy's on
something else, bro. But anyways, anything else, man?
No, I think we covered most of what we wanted to say. But yeah, I mean,
dude, I'm excited for our next encounter. I think now more than ever, I'm like more actually looking forward to it. Again, continue growing. I think it's again, for me, I'm just speaking from experience.
And Paul Stamets does say that if you take it in a microdose, it actually does allow to regenerate a lot of your brain neurons.
Speaking about microdosing,
that's too far.
That's too far. Anyways, mushroom pills, or what is it called? Lion's mane. It's good for the brain.
Right.
Yeah. So. Chaga's good for your immunity. So.
I'm a fan of mushrooms overall, dude.
I eat them.
They don't have to be magic mushrooms or anything like that, but.
And like you said before, they're on the more of the meat side of things than the plant, right?
Yeah, we're more related to mushrooms than
we are to plants.
Yeah. I think some evolutionists say that we actually derive from mushrooms, all animal life, if I am not mistaken. Can't remember.
We've had a couple drinks. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that snazzy stuff. Appreciate the love.
Till next time.